Welcome to Our Devil. Today we are taking a look at r/am I the antagonist. Our first story is from anonymous user 13Q. Am I the antagonist for calling the police on my husband after I found that he was hiding my son's motorcycle? I got my son a 7K motorcycle for his 18th birthday this past June. My son is obsessed with automobile and loves motorcycles. In his room he has plenty of models and posters of motorcycles of all types. His bio dad passed away when he was just 12. Now I'm married to my current husband and he has kids of his own. My husband has always been against my son's interest in motorcycles. He thinks I'm encouraging him to be reckless, distracting him from school and by extension his future, and spoiling him and blowing away money by spending 7K on a motorcycle. This caused some tension between him and my son, so I told him to stop complaining about it. Around 2 weeks ago, my son's motorcycle went missing. We opened a police report but nothing came out of it. It just disappeared. My husband had a smirk on his face the entire time, just walking around saying, "I told you so. You just wasted your money." This was unbearable to hear, to be quite honest. My mother-in-law visited few days ago. She was talking about the other house my husband owns and mentioned seeing a motorcycle. One that's similar to the one that we lost in my husband's carriage while she was cleaning it. She goes to clean that house weekly even though it's empty. My husband plans on giving it to his kids as inheritance. I was puzzled. I asked if she was certain, but she showed me a photo she took of it which confirmed that it was indeed my son's motorcycle. I immediately rushed to call my husband and confront him about it. He admitted that he took and hid the motorcycle in his garage as a last resort after me and his stepson kept brushing him and his thoughts off about the 7K being spent on something unnecessary and that could cause issues. I blew up at him demanding he return it. He refused and told me he had been considering selling it and giving the money back to me so I could use it wisely this time. I told him I was serious and that I'd call the police. He literally said, "This is a family matter and cops can't do shit about it." I had enough. I called the cops soon as I ended the call with him. The motorcycle was found and returned. But my husband had to be taken in since there was an open file about the motorcycle going missing. He was let go eventually, but he was livid with me. He came home yelling about how awful what I did was and how crazy my behavior was. I refused to engage in the argument, but he told his entire family about it and they judged me for calling the police on my own husband even though I already asked him to return it. He said he was just looking out for my son and that one day we'll realize that he was right, but only when it's too late. My son isn't speaking to me or my husband. I feel horrible about the whole situation and am starting to think I handled this the wrong way. Comment by Raz Moon. Info. Why isn't your son talking to you? I already made a judgment of not the antagonist, but for curiosity's sake. Was the motorcycle theft the metaphorical last straw? Does your son feel that you have been enabling this antagonist the whole time that he has been in your son's life? Perhaps time to re-evaluate your relationship with your hubby if he thinks that his actions were reasonable. Comment by Tweaky Wolf. Not the antagonist, but you should return the husband. He sounds defective. Maybe use the money you wasted on him to have a nice putting with your son so you can tell him you had nothing to do with this. And you're just as pissed as he is. Comment by Miss Susie Sunshine. Not the antagonist once you gave the motorcycle to your son. It became your son's property and not the property of your husband's to take. Additionally, taking it and hiding it like that and not copping to it after you filed the police report is really shitty. He literally stole the motorcycle. I would seriously rethink staying married to him. Who the hell does he think he is to teach a lesson in that way? Oh, and yeah, you did the right thing calling the police on him. Maybe next time he will rethink doing something so stupid. Our next story is from Odd Jellyfish 7706. Am I the antagonist for refusing to give my child's college fund to my stepson so he can go to college? Throwaway account. I, female 43, am married to my husband Neil, male 46. We've been married for 2 years. And together for a total of 5 years. We have children from previous relationships. I have my daughter Grace, female 20, and Neil has a daughter and a son. Lola, female 23, and Alex, male 18. When I was pregnant with Grace, my late parents generously set aside a college fund for her. It has been placed in a bank account under my name. And it's up to me to give the funds to Grace. There was a change of plan. Grace decided she didn't want to go to college. And instead got a job as a real estate agent through a friend in the industry and doing a full-time 5-month training course. She now makes decent money. Neil has been pestering me about the college fund lately. As Alex wants to go to college to pursue a degree in criminology. He said I should give the college fund to Alex instead. Since Grace doesn't want to go to college anyway. So she doesn't need the money. I'm unsure as to what to do with the college fund. Because my parents only wanted the money to go to Grace on the condition that she uses it to go to college. I told Neil no. And he got really offended. And said that my decision isn't fair on Alex. I'm considering giving the money to Grace anyway so she can use it to put towards a house. Am I the antagonist? Edit. Neil and I have a prenup. If we were to divorce, he would not be entitled to anything. Comment by Katie did not the antagonist. Comment by Confident Seaweed 949. Not the antagonist. He has, presumably, had this son for at least 18 years now. What was his plan originally for Alex's college? I mean, it's not like it's surprise your kid at 18 wants to pursue higher education in a society that damn near ducking demands it. Neil's being obtuse at best. And a ducking lazy money grubber at worst. Not the antagonist. It's Grace's money from her grandparents. If she's not using it for college, give it to her for her house. Or to start as her own kid's college fund. It's not your money. You're a steward. Comment by 2-cent psychologist. Not the antagonist. Your parents gave that money to invest in Grace's future. They reasonably thought that meant college. But other activities such as classes, real estate conferences, or helping Grace at some point set up an office are all investing in her future. Our next story is from Mwentz. Am I the antagonist for telling girlfriend to share me out a plate of food at a family event? I 21 male have been dating my 20 female since high school. Our relationship is great and we rarely have any serious problems. Recently we have met each tower's families and she has been begging to come any family event of mine. We are having an event coming up soon so I invited her. She was happy and she asked me if there's anything she should know. We come from different cultures, there are some differences. Her family is a lot more strict and traditional than mine so there wasn't much to go over with her. One thing I told her though was that when the food was served she would have to put together my plate and bring it to me with all the other women from my family who would be doing the same for their so's. She got mad at me and then said she wouldn't be doing that. Then went on a rant about how she shouldn't have to do such things because I'm capable of it myself. I didn't argue, I just said no one is gonna force you, but if you don't do it they will say something behind your back later on. Since this convo she has been mad at me and said she isn't gonna attend the event anymore. I said if she doesn't want to attend that's fine, but I'm not apologizing for giving you a heads up on how my family does things. I don't care about the tradition at all and could care less as long as I get to eat, but did think it would be worth mentioning. Am I in the wrong here? Edit. Damn, didn't know this post would get so much attention. I showed my GF the thread and we had a good laugh at some of the crazy comments. She decided to come to the event but still not sure what she wants to do regarding the food situation yet. Comment by Nut Michelle. YTA. I understand family traditions but your girlfriend isn't obligated to follow sexist tradition if it makes her uncomfortable. As far as people talking about her behind her back, you should stand up for her and tell them that you don't expect her to wait on you. Comment by Miss Carolina 00. You are the antagonist. Why don't you serve and bring her her plate to show your family you do not agree with their sexist traditions? Oh right. Because you do. Comment by Parsimony Cake. You're going to lose a lot of girlfriends if you expect to placate your awful retrograde family. Our next story is from Financial Zebra 45. Am I the antagonist for firing my nanny/housekeeper after she slut-shamed my daughter? Backstory. 2 years ago I lost my wife in a car accident. It was devastating. She left behind our 3 daughters. 14, 11, and 5. Once I had to go back to work. I needed somebody to help keep the house in order and help with the youngest as she wasn't in school yet. About a year ago, we hired a woman whom I'll call Kate. Kate is an older lady and quite religious. Which I don't mind as she was a good worker. I've made it a priority to teach my kids to love themselves and not care what others think. Or be ashamed of their bodies in any way. 4 months ago, my oldest, who I'll call Bree, started wearing more revealing tops. Nothing too crazy obviously, as she's 14. I've noticed Kate making passive-aggressive comments about it a few times, but we just kind of shrugged it off. 3 days ago, Bree called me at work crying. Apparently, she was going out with her friends when Kate stopped her and told her not to leave unless she changed. Bree asked why and she said, "It makes you look easy. Like a slut. Go back upstairs." When I got home I confronted Kate and she didn't even deny it but claimed she was trying to protect her. This was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I told her she was fired. When she asked why, I told her there have been too many instances of disrespect for my parenting and I wouldn't deal with it anymore. Next day I told my parents about it and they went off on me, saying I was an antagonist because I just left an old woman without a job. I said that's not my problem and hung up. I do feel bad. But her old views aren't an excuse for slut shaming. Comment by Delurking to comment. Not the antagonist. How can your parents side with the nanny over their own granddaughter? So what if Kate is out of a job? She brought it upon herself. Comment by Cat Mama 82. Not the antagonist. If she wanted to keep her job she should have respected your daughter and your parenting. Comment by Serious Hobbit. Not the antagonist. Well done for keeping all your children away from those attitudes. Our next story is from ex-fiancé adoption. Am I the antagonist for not wanting my parents to adopt my ex-fiancé? My female 24, ex-fiancé, male 24, and I were together for 7 years. He proposed last fall, and we mutually decided to break up in May. He's always gotten along incredibly well with my parents. Especially my father. They always treated him like he was one of their children and my parents have always told him he's part of the family. For example, he started coming on family vacations with us when we were 17. It was a very tough decision to end our relationship. But we both agreed it was for the best. He moved out while I finished up our lease term. His plans fell through last minute and he moved in with my parents for a little while finding a new place. Obviously, I felt a little weird about him moving into my childhood bedroom and being at my parents' house a fair amount. It led to lots of awkward interactions but we got past it. He moved out at the start of August and I thought that was that. Last night my parents invited me over for dinner. They sat me down and explained that since the wedding was off and my ex-fiancé wasn't going to be a part of the family by marriage, they wanted to adopt him. They asked him last week and he agreed as long as I'm okay with it. I'm definitely not. I told them that I'm not really comfortable with that. And they started telling me that I'm keeping them away from their son, WTF. And that I need to tell him that I'm okay with it so that we can all be a real family. I'm worried I'm being an antagonist because they have cared so much for my ex over the years. I'm also worried I'm being selfish by worrying about how to explain this to future partners. Am I the antagonist? Comment by G. Nothro. Not the antagonist. Your parents are weird. Comment by Crystal Queen 3000. Reading this post made me feel like I walked through a cave full of hallucinogenic mist. They what? They want to adopt a grown man, your ex-fiancé no less, so that he remains part of the family? Not the antagonist hun, but I think your parents need a psychological evaluation because that idea is batshit crazy. Comment by Sooner70. Not the antagonist. And your parents are ducking weird for even thinking this is an acceptable thing to do. Seriously. This one is a hill to die on. Your parents need to decide whether you are family or he is family. But it's batshit crazy to think that they can have both simply because they like the dude. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and subscribe to our Devil. See you in the next one.